are facing the greatest opportunity in all of human history to accelerate innovation and tackle the biggest problems of the day. And it's important that we understand history a little bit in order to know where we are and how we can best allocate and utilize our resources in order to achieve the greatest amount of impact for society. Now, we have a collision right now of cycles that are innovation cycles and crisis cycles. What we see on the board here are the the first industrial revolution, the second industrial revolution, technology revolution, and the next one, which I believe is life sciences revolution, which we can actually see by history showing us what's coming out of the labs and just starting to sprout in terms of its economic impact. On the y-axis, we have economic impact in society, and on the x-axis, we have time. If we look at where we are historically in a given cycle, we can identify the moment in time today so that we can best allocate those resources. So for example, we know today, based on history, that we are in the early sprouting phase of the next big economic boom, life sciences. And that period is roughly between now and about 2030. And what happens during that period is we're starting just to we'll start to see mass investment from universities and businesses and governments to accelerate the pace of what's happening and the possibilities of how that can impact life. Now, many people say, well, Mark, isn't it accelerating today? Isn't it even faster? But the reality is, as some great authors, Strauss and Howe, talk about in their books, Generations and The Fourth Turning, they highlight that it still takes 20 years to make a 20-year-old. And there are generational archetypes that repeat. There are 4 archetypes of behaviors that repeat. So you have your visionary, you have your entrepreneurs, you have your creatives, you have your doers. And as they rotate through lifespan, we can see that sends a rhythm, like a heartbeat through society. We know that it's very, very important at the beginning of a cycle that there's huge collaboration. So we need business, government, and university to come together, work together in order to capture the potential that it has for society as quickly as possible. We saw some of that in the technology revolution. And there was a gentleman out of Stanford University, Fred Terman, who really was a leader in helping business and universities collaborate. And then after World War II, he got very good at tying government in. So government, university, and business really working together in order to accelerate that stage. But during the same point in time, we can see, well, what's going on in the other cycles? So this technology revolution is hitting, around 2000, hit its maturity stage. Now, maturity sounds like, oh, it's over the hill. Well, no, it's not. It's just hitting its big stride in terms of its overall economic impact. In fact, it's between 2000 and about 2060 is the maturity phase of tech. If we look back in time at the second industrial revolution, the last maturity phase was between about 1920 and 1980. So if you think of what happened with the automobile and airplanes and the second industrial revolution things, medicine, between 1920 and 1980, huge, major impact on society globally. So in summary, the greatest opportunity in the history of humankind exists right now to accelerate innovation. And the reason is you have compounding forces. You have the mechanical and power and medicine from the second industrial cycle combined with technology, moving into things like nanotechnology and robotics and the acceleration of computer power, combining now with life sciences where we're talking about having the interaction of computers and mechanical devices and medicines within our bodies and helping transform really the way we live our life. And in how society interacts with each other. Let's make sure that whatever we do it together. Let's figure out how we can collaborate to accelerate the opportunities that we have to impact society today and start tackling the biggest problems that face us. We can achieve what may seem impossible and make it possible.